was some front office decision-making in Boston this offseason. So the Celtics go into the season as the reigning Eastern Conference champs, except they will not be with their coach, Ime Udoka, who is suspended for the season. Joe Mazzulla has taken over and got off to a great start as Boston beat Philly handily, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combining for 70 points in the win. Stephen A., obviously Udoka did a tremendous job this past season. But tell me this, do you think the Celtics can still win the East?
I'm not of the mindset that they will. Of course they can because they've got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I love the acquisition of Malcolm Brogdon to that squad. Mazzulla didn't look like he missed a beat.
Let me pause. Let's make the question, will they win the East?
No, I'm not picking them to win the East. I'm picking the Brooklyn Nets. I'm picking the Brooklyn Nets to win the East. That's where I'm going with this, okay? But I will say this. I know I'm going to have to deal with Wilbon all day and all night because I've taken that position. But damn it, that's where I'm going with it, okay? But let me get back to Boston. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown came ready to play last night. I think we all agree the Philadelphia 76ers did not. I didn't like the body language on Joel Embiid. I was watching Charles Barkley last night when he brought up that point. I completely agree with him. The body language, I mean, you missed out on the MVP. I voted for you to win MVP, but you didn't get the award. We got that. I expected Joel Embiid to come out like a monster. That was not the case, okay? James Harden had his 35 points. He got some threes. He did all of this stuff, but still in all, no movement. Guys standing around, not spreading the floor. I just saw things I just didn't like. And I said, this style, they ain't going to beat the Boston Celtics. So I don't know how much of a litmus test that was per se, even though Philly supposedly got better in the offseason with Tucker and DeAnthony Melton, because I like both of those guys. But I look at Boston, and I just believe in Ime Udoka. And I think that him going to Boston and doing it in 1 year what Brad Stevens, who I love and respect, couldn't do in 7 years or so as the head coach, and taking them to the finals. I just think that this dude has the pulse of the team in a way that nobody else has had since Doc Rivers won the championship with them in 08 rather. So to me, if Mazzulla proves me wrong, God bless him, because I'm certainly not rooting against him. But I just look at the Celtics right now, the squad that they have. It's not that they missed the opportunity. I think they'll be back. They'll be in the thick of things. They'll be relevant. I just think this year when I see Milwaukee, I see Brooklyn, I just think one of those teams is coming out of the East before Boston, and I'm rolling with Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Celtics will win the East, and I think they should be considered the favorites to win the East. I look at really three factors there. So number one is Tatum and Brown, and the lessons they learned during their finals run last year. And you want to see growth from those guys in terms of decision-making. It's something I harped on throughout the playoffs. Their passing, their turnovers, they looked really sharp last night. And I know it's one game. The second thing is there's roster continuity on this team. This is a group that went through the fire. And so you would expect for them to be a little bit battle-hardened this year and throughout the playoffs. And then the third reason that I like the Celtics is Malcolm Brogdon. And we saw this last night. His defense, his offensive production, having the luxury of taking a guy who was in all-star consideration at different points in his career, whether that was in Milwaukee or Indiana, and being able to bring him off the bench and play him two ways is just a phenomenal luxury. And Stephen A., we got to talk about this Nets pick. We got to talk about this.
Thank you, Jay.
I'm going to answer the question, Molly. I answered the question, but we got to talk about this next pick. What have you seen at any point in the last 3 years that leads you to believe the Brooklyn Nets can make the finals?
I didn't say.
I mean, look, they still have small guards. They lost Bruce Brown. Obviously, Ben Simmons is a guard, but he's going to have to play a lot of bigger players in the playoffs. Okay, and you're going to be going up against Giannis. You're going to be going up against Joel Embiid. You're going to be going up against Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I just don't see, other than wishful thinking, because your Knicks are so bad and you want to root for a New York team.
That's low.
I don't understand.
That's not love right there. See what I'm saying? That's not love right there. See, just when I thought that you were my boy, this is what you do. You show yourself to be the turncoat that you are. How you going to do that to me, man? I mean, of course it has something to do with the Knicks being sorry. Of course it does, damn it. Of course I'm rooting for a New York team to be relevant. But I will say this. Ben Simmons, okay? Kyrie, KD.
How long are you going to be seduced by talent alone?
I'm not going to pay attention.
They're not accountable, Stephen A. They're not accountable at all, even to each other. How many times are you going to need to see this? We've seen it 3 years in a row. And you keep, I mean, the notion that Kyrie is playing for something greater this season, you know there's going to be some stretch coming up in the next few weeks with Kyrie not playing at all because he decided to go to a birthday party or he decided to do whatever. Where's the accountability? What championship caliber team have you ever seen in any sport that doesn't start with that kind of high-level accountability? Tell me. Give me one.
I can't. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.